Hey guys, it's Brian Paul from PSVR without Parole, and I want to try something new today, a new video format, a new way of starting conversations with you. So let me know in the comments what you think of all of this, and if you want to see more of these in the future. But let's get to the topic of today. The last few weeks have been pretty interesting. Since February, I've been telling you that PSVR2 won't launch until Q1 of 2023. And I think my sources have been spot on so far, so I'd be really surprised if things at Sony had changed like so much internally that they'd move the release window up by 3 or 4 months. But that's exactly what people on Twitter and YouTube are suggesting is happening. So since anything's possible, I figured maybe it was time we take a look at the evidence. All right, let's check out the first piece. I'm pretty sure all this started last week when Sony showed off the PlayStation VR2 user experience on the PlayStation blog. The very last line of the article read, "We'll share more information soon, including a launch date and additional games coming to the platform." And I mean, yeah, it's hard not to get excited about the prospect of Sony hitting us up with more PSVR2 news soon, but I do have a few problems with this being the source of anyone's information. First, Sony uses the term soon, regardless of what they really mean. I think we're all well aware of that. They say soon all the time and then go radio silent for months, if not a year or longer. And second, it's already August. They may be announcing the release date soon, but that doesn't mean the release date itself is soon. Looking back at the PSVR1 launch for some sort of parody here, Sony announced in March of 2016 that their headset would release in October of the same year, and that's 7 months prior to launch. The next piece of evidence comes to us from No Man's Sky, so they're to blame for a little of this too. On July 27th, they posted the following on their website. Patch 3.97, which contains a number of gameplay and stability fixes, is being released today and will be coming to all platforms as soon as possible. The team are currently taking time to address issues reported by the community, but we have so much more packed in for 2022. The release of No Man's Sky on Nintendo Switch, PSVR2, and Mac OS are all just around the corner, and we have already started new content and surprises for later in the year. Now, I'll admit that at worst this is poorly written and misleading at best, but Sean Murray, who wrote this, is talking about all these updates and releases happening this year and just kind of casually throws in the fact that there's also a PSVR2 version coming, which we learned at the beginning of June. But to insinuate that they somehow accidentally leaked the PSVR2 release window is kind of a stretch. It's just something they're working on and will have ready for launch. Most of the bigger developers are totally aware that PSVR2 won't be hitting until next year, and so that's their deadline. They've worked that into their roadmap. So it would be the Sega Saturn fiasco all over again if Sony just pulled the rug out from under them and then launched 3 or 4 months earlier than expected, causing all sorts of developers who thought they'd have a launch game ready for PSVR2 just to be taken by surprise and to be 4 months behind schedule. I mean, put it this way, why would Saints and Sinners Chapter 2 be coming out this year for PlayStation VR1 and next year for PSVR2? They obviously know, right? They have to. Now, the final piece of evidence, at least on the surface, is probably the most convincing. Anyone on the waiting list for a Steam Deck might have noticed recently that they're suddenly available to purchase. Now, according to Valve, quote, "Many of the supply chain shortfalls that affected Steam Deck are gradually clearing up, and we're continuing to ramp up production, so we're able to produce more decks faster than ever before." Now, this is obviously great news if you're waiting for a Steam Deck, but two things about this hit me immediately. And the first thing is that this situation, the clearing up of supply chains, seems to be a unique situation for Steam. If you look at other corporations have been trying to get their stuff out, like Analog with their Pocket or Polymega, they're not having as much luck. In fact, Polymega just pushed projections back even further, saying we're not getting the parts we need and we're not able to ship as fast as we want to. So this seems to be a situation unique to Valve. The other thing about this is that the Steam Deck is already out, and Valve is just trying to catch up with demand. What this tells me more than anything isn't that Sony is changing the release window for PSVR2, but instead that they might actually be able to manufacture enough PlayStation 5s for this holiday season to satisfy demand, and even better, maybe even having plenty of PSVR2s ready for launch. Remember that their chief priority is selling PS5s, which currently, as of this recording, especially outside of the US, are half impossible to find. Listen, I just want to be clear, this isn't like an I'm right and you're wrong situation. In fact, no one wants PSVR2 to come out this year more than me. And if I'm wrong, I'll honestly be thrilled. But so far, I just don't see enough evidence, or any evidence really, to convince me that what I've been told is inaccurate. But I want this video and videos like this to be conversation starters. So please, let me know in the comments below, what do you think? Do you think there's enough evidence here to point to a holiday 2022 release window? Do you know about more evidence that I didn't even cover in this video that could potentially sway somebody? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Is it coming out this year? Is it coming out next year? What are your thoughts? I want to hear them. Also, let me know what you think of this new video format. I'd love for something like this to be a fun way to start interesting conversations in the future. So let me know in the comments below. And thank you so much for watching. I'm Brian Paul, and I love you all.